When the unexpected happens, who do you turn to? My law firm helps people who've been hurt in a car wreck. When the unexpected happens, George St. Kinsey Lawyers is there for you. Getting help is easy. Just call George St. Kinsey Lawyers at all nines.
From the station that's on your side, this is News 12, First at 4.
First at 4, a convicted murderer escapes prison, then escapes gunshots, and now he is armed. Nearly 2 weeks into the search, police still can't seem to pin this guy down. The latest on that search in just a couple of minutes. But first, let's get a check of the weather with First Alert meteorologist Emily Acton, and we see some activity there on the radar network today.
Yeah, there's some showers and thunderstorms really around the CSRA, and I'm saying around as in counties outlining the CSRA, but there's been a couple of isolated showers that have popped up, and the rain threat is still there throughout the rest of the evening, but really looking at the overnight hours where we could see some heavy rainfall, maybe a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings. Some of our counties are under that marginal risk, so that's a level 1 out of 5. Again, just gonna expect some heavy downpours, maybe some lightning and some strong wind gusts possible. But as of right now, things are looking beautiful. I think that this might be our Beach Island camera, but anyways, sitting in those lower 90s right now, reading at 91, feels like 95. So humidity still kind of here for our Tuesday, and again, that's the same story across the CSRA. Some warmer afternoon temperatures, but this might be the last day that we'll see those heat index values in those middle and upper 90s for this week. That's all that I can promise you, Richard. After that, we could see some cooler weather, but I think that we might be doing those false falls right now.
It'd be nice to get a little break from those 90s, though. Thanks, Emily, for that. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp making moves to lessen your pain at the pump. Today, the governor declaring a state of emergency because of the 40-year high inflation. This will temporarily suspend the state's gas tax, saving those who buy gas in Georgia about 31 cents per gallon. Look for those lower prices starting tomorrow. Well, after being on the run for nearly 2 weeks now, authorities in Pennsylvania say escaped prisoner Danilo Cavalcante is now armed with a rifle. The convicted killer spotted early this morning in South Coventry Township, a rural area in northern Chester County. Janelle Burrell has the latest now from Pennsylvania.
Authorities in Pennsylvania say the manhunt for escaped prisoner Danilo Cavalcante has become even more dangerous.
He is now armed with a .22 caliber rifle with a scope and flashlight mounted on it.
According to police, a resident on Coventry Road reported that a man entered his garage and stole a rifle.
The homeowner drew a pistol and fired at Cavalcante as he fled with the rifle. PSP responded and secured that scene.
Police also found a green shirt and shoes similar to what the convicted killer was last seen wearing in surveillance footage. Tactical teams from multiple agencies are combing through the area to find him.
Aviation assets, canines, mounted patrols, and numerous other assets have been mobilized and are currently operating in this search area.
Jeff Wynn, who lives in the area, says he's been following the story since Cavalcante ditched a stolen van over the weekend.
If it's still like this in a couple of days, I know people around here aren't going to sit by and let it be like that. They might start going out and walking around on their own.
Overnight, police sent several reverse 911 calls to residents within a 3-mile radius of the search.
We asked residents in and around this vicinity to please secure homes, outbuildings, and vehicles.
Schools in the region remain closed as the manhunt continues. Janelle Burrell, CBS News, Philadelphia.
They also say Cavalcante stole a pair of work boots off of one of those porches. He's not believed to have been injured in that confrontation with a person living there last night with those shots fired. Closer to home, an Emmanuel County Sheriff's investigator in the hospital after being shot, serving a search warrant. It happened around 7:30 this morning on Coal Grove Drive with the Swainsboro Police Department. Deputies say Malel Laquan Aaron fired a weapon, hitting investigator Dakota Lamb. Investigators say Marion surrendered and was taken into custody. The agency says Deputy Lamb was taken to a hospital where he's expected to make a full recovery. The GBI now investigating what happened there this morning. First at 4, a mother of a teenager with special needs says she is suing the Aiken County School District and North Augusta Public Safety over an incident involving her son. Sylvia Brannon says it happened back in 2021. The complaint says Brannon's son is on the spectrum with expressive language delay. She says he was having a mental health crisis and was tackled to the ground, handcuffed, and arrested by a North Augusta High School resource officer. Charges of assault and disorderly conduct against the student were eventually dropped. The complaint contends excessive force was used against the student, referred to as JF in the paperwork, and that JF was falsely arrested.
This is supposed to be a education system that's supposed to help the kid get to the next level. And why would you have an officer here trying to put charges on the kid that are all false allegations? As the lawyer said, everything's been dropped.
It is not the first time Brannon has taken action against school leaders. She reached a $30,000 settlement when her son was attending North Augusta Middle School. The number of people killed by an earthquake. Coming up, the power of saying goodbye. When First at 4 continues, how some sisters, until next time video, went viral.
Well, the afternoon highs have reached those lower 90s across the CSRA. Will cool off slowly but surely overnight and possibly see some showers. I'll have a look at your full forecast, though, after the break.
I'm
feeling good vibes.
Well, we can see some showers later on in the afternoon, or really evening hours, I should say. And then overnight tonight could see some more widespread rainfall. And the same can be said for tomorrow afternoon. But overall, have a pretty decent 7-day in store for us. Just got to get through those showers this evening and tomorrow evening. Some cooler air is in the future. Definitely looking forward to that. But like I said, not here just yet. We're in the 90s right now, upper 80s in some spots, and we'll slowly but surely cool off overnight tonight, and we're going to see the sunset at 7:39. Definitely miss those 8 p.m. sunsets, but with that, I guess the temperatures cool off a little bit sooner. But like I said, we're going to drop off into those lower 70s, upper 60s for the overnight lows there. And then once we get throughout the first part of the day tomorrow, going to be great sky conditions again. So if you have any outdoor plans or maybe need to do a early morning run, morning hours definitely going to be the time to do that. But then once we get into the afternoon, could see a stray shower or two, isolated in pattern. So again, not all of us are going to see some heavy rainfall, but if we do, or if you do see rainfall, it will be heavy at times. Once we get to Thursday and Friday, though, looking great. Not expecting any rainfall headed into our weekend. I know we have lots of football, different activities going around the CSRA. So Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday, Richard, looking great.
Looking good. Border Bash on Friday looks pretty good, too. Emily, thank you. Big news out of Washington today. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy will support that impeachment inquiry of President Biden. It's a move that will allow Congress to have access to bank records and other documents from the president and his son, Hunter. Republicans call it a logical next step in the investigation that's been going on for months. The move does not come as a huge surprise. It does give the House more legal power for that investigation into Hunter Biden's business dealings. A 94-year-old woman from New Hampshire traveling across country because she wanted to see her 90-year-old little sister maybe for the last time. The sister's goodbye is now going viral on social media. Ariel Metropolis has their story.
If we don't see each other on this earth, we'll see in heaven. You betcha. You betcha.
2,700 miles is no match for 9 decades of love between two sisters.
But we did. We had a wonderful.
This reunion was 3 years in the making.
We're going to see each other again.
Because of COVID, 94-year-old Barbara Carolan from Seabrook hadn't been able to see her 90-year-old sister Shirley since 2020, but she was determined to make one final trip all the way to Nevada.
She said, I really think this will be the last time I see my sister.
Her granddaughter Stephanie went with her, documenting their goodbye.
They waited so long to see each other, and if you don't know if you're gonna see someone again, especially siblings, it must be really hard.
The night before they left, she captured their emotional conversation before bed.
Don't say goodbye. I'm not going to. There's no way I'm not going to say goodbye to you.
She posted the clip on TikTok for family members to see, but by the time she woke up in the morning, her video had gone viral, racking up almost 13 million views and counting.
especially with how crazy the world can get, just to see the happiness that it's bringing.
Stephanie says so many people have told her the video made them reach out to someone they love.
What if this was your last time to see your loved one? What, are you telling them the things that you want to tell them? Are you saying the things that you want to say? Because if you're not, you may not get a chance again.
Because it's a reminder that you only have so much time.
Until we meet again. That's it. Yeah.
A great reminder there. Until we meet again. Again, that video now has almost 13 million views. The family says Gigi, as they call her and her sister, they've been amazed by the response. McDonald's is numbering your days until you cannot fill up your own drink inside a restaurant. They say by 2032, all those self-serve drink machines will be out of there. The idea is that since the pandemic, fewer people eat inside anyway. McDonald's says digital orders like their app or Uber Eats make up 40% of the sales here in the U.S. McDonald's is planning to have some smaller Cosmics replacing those current restaurants down the road. Big changes at McDonald's. Oprah Winfrey taking on a new mission. She wants to help others create happy lives. We'll explain how she plans to do that when First at 4 continues.
Overnight tonight, we'll drop off into those upper 60s. A few showers possible, especially around that 10 p.m. hour. I have another look at your forecast, though, coming up after the break.
It's Sportswear Spectacular. Why should you call a lawyer after a car accident? Well, let me tell you. Without a lawyer, you might not get the money you deserve or the medical care you need. But car crash victims with a lawyer get better access to medical care and over 3 times more money on average than those without one. I don't want to see you settle for less. Call me. I'm Austin Jackson, your guy in Augusta, and I'll shoot you straight. Call Austin Jackson, the Augusta guy, 706-724-7224.
Taylor Hyundai is celebrating our 1-year anniversary. Thank you for your support in making us the #1 volume Hyundai dealer in the CSRA. To show our appreciation, we're offering sales and service specials. For a limited time, take an additional $1,000 off any new Hyundai and take 10% off any new service. Thank you for a fabulous first year, and we look forward to serving you for many, many more. Low prices, big selection, and committed to quality customer service. Visit us at 5585 Jefferson Davis Highway or online at TaylorHyundai.com.
Well, looking at the next 7 days, we're going to start off on the warmer side. This afternoon, we saw temperatures reach those lower 90s. Tomorrow, going to be in the upper 80s. Still pretty warm out there. A couple of isolated showers possible, but then we're drying off for most of the rest of our week, I really should say. But let's take a look at what we can expect tomorrow in terms of those rainfall. Going to start off dry, so if you have any outdoor plans, maybe you need to get a morning run in. Morning is definitely going to be the time to do that. Once we get into the afternoon, that's when rain chances will start to rise, and then especially when we get into the overnight hours, could see some more rainfall there. Overall, though, a pretty decent Wednesday for us, but we have plenty of nice weather to make up for it for the rest of our work week and into our weekend. Now, once we get to Saturday, going to be in those middle 80s. Same can be said for Sunday. Monday, starting to warm up just a little bit. Tuesday will be in those upper 70s, which is right around average. Overnight lows for the next 7 days will range anywhere from those upper 50s to upper 60s. Richard?
Emily, thanks. We know California is far and away the leading wine-producing state in the U.S., but you know what? Other regions are becoming tourism hotspots for wine. It's a big business, raking in more than $50 billion in revenues domestically last year. Wine enthusiasts know Napa Valley has about a third of California's wineries. The wine world is welcoming newcomers in the Texas Hill Country, that's west of Austin, another big slice of wine country up in Virginia. The state ranks 6th in the nation for the number of wineries there, which is right around 300.
What is distinctive of Virginia terroir is that all of our wines have a more floral essence. There's a minerality component that is long in our finish.
Texas has the second most visited wine regions in the U.S., behind California. Oprah wants to help people lead happier lives. A recent social survey shows only about 25% of Americans say they're very happy. To find out what that means to be happy, the media mogul collaborated with a Harvard professor who studies and teaches the science of happiness. Yeah, there's such a thing. The pair explains their new book called Build the Life You Want, The Art and Science of Getting Happier.
Happiness for me now is more a level of contentment and peace of mind and satisfaction coming from purpose and meaning.
If you take your time, your money, your resources, your life, and you give the love that other people need, especially in their times of need, that is the secret of happiness.
There you go. Save the price of a book right there. Brooke says the biggest mistake people make is waiting for happiness to come to them rather than going out and working for it.
Grant Me Hope. Finding every foster child their forever home.
Exactly. Speaking of spreading happiness, in our Grant Me Hope segment today, we meet an 11-year-old girl. She's been in the foster system for more than 7 years, hoping you can give her a home so she doesn't make it an 8th year in foster care. Meet Madison.
My name is Madison and I'm 11 years old. I've been in the foster system for more than 7 years. Few things I love are gymnastics. I love to do backflips, 1-handed cartwheels, jumping on the trampoline, spending time with my family. My favorite music is country. Morgan Wallen, like his songs are just like rap into it. Like songs like sometimes express their feelings about things. My favorite food is chicken with yum sauce. But my favorite food is pizza. I love reading. There's a lot of things you can learn about reading. Science books, ELA, social studies, the United States, the presidents. I want to be a detective. What I want to be a detective is you gotta figure things out, and I'm good at that. Favorite home would be the one that had kindness. They would care for me. They'd give me a room. My name is Madison and I'm looking for a forever home.
And we know she'll find it. I love that her favorite food is pizza. If you'd like to learn more about Madison or any other child we feature on this segment, head to our website, wrdw.com, and search Grant Me Hope. You know, Friday night will be here before we know it, and here are your choices for News 12's Under the Lights Game of the Week. It's going to be either Harlem at home, a Brickyard battle with Laney, a crosstown matchup at Westside, or you could see Barnwell taking on Aiken. Right now, Thompson versus Laney is in first place, Harlem versus Aquinas in second. Make sure to use that flow code there. You can scan it with your phone and then vote on your choice for Game of the Week. We're going to cover that for you Friday. Emily?
Well, hopefully some better weather, expecting some better weather for our Friday. Right now, seeing a couple of showers moving into the CSRA. I'll have another look at your forecast coming up after the break.
And also had an airman who went down with his plane during World War II, finally recovered. That story and more when First at 4 continues.
Well, several counties.
If you have Medicare or private insurance, US Med can deliver a CGM system right to your door. And if you qualify, there may be little or no cost to you. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurer directly. Call now to get your continuous glucose monitoring system so you can take control of your diabetes and get back to enjoying life.
Just call 800-973-5217. That's 800-973-5217.
Well, several counties across the CSRA are under that marginal risk for this evening. Could see a severe thunderstorm warning or two, but overall, most of us are going to remain relatively calm overnight tonight. But let's take a look at the hour by hour. Once we get into around 5 p.m., so really the next 30 minutes or so, our rain chances go up just a little bit. Then we're going to be partly cloudy right around 7 p.m. And don't forget the sun sets a little after 7:30. And then once we get into the overnight hours, that's when we could see some more showers and thunderstorms roll through. Those might be on the stronger side, again, around 9, 10, maybe even lasting until 11 p.m. But good news is it's just going to last for overnight tonight. Once we get into the day tomorrow, though, conditions are not looking too bad. We'll drop off into those upper 60s overnight. Warm up into those upper 80s tomorrow, and then we could still see an isolated shower or two. But tomorrow, It's going to be our last hot day, I guess, of the week, Richard.
Gets a little better by the day. Okay, we can live with that. Future Hall of Fame quarterback Aaron Rodgers' season is over before it ever really got started. Just a few minutes into last night's debut with the Jets, Rodgers was sacked, tearing his Achilles on the way down. The Jet gave up multiple top draft picks to get Rodgers on the team, hoping he'd be the key to another Super Bowl championship. But if the Jets want to win the big game for the first time since 1969, they're going to have to do that without Rodgers under center. No word yet from Aaron on his future with football itself. You know, it took years of work to Wrdw County School District recognizing its top go. Out of the 10 crewmen on board, 9 were rescued by the RAF rescue launch, and 1 went down with the plane. The Wrdw County School District recognizing its top educators this week. These are the finalists for Teacher of the Year: Johnston Edgefield and Trenton Middle School Arts teacher Avis Jordan, Meriwether Middle music teacher Matt Herring, Johnston Elementary School counselor Andrea Sims. The 3 combined have 34 years of teaching under their belts. Teacher of the Year will be announced next Friday, but for now, congratulations to all 3 finalists. Well done there. The kids are lucky to have you. Updated COVID vaccines could be available soon. We're going to look at the push to consider the new shots like your annual flu shot when First at 4 continues right after this break. Stay with us.
Ah! 733-5000.
From the station that's on your side, News 12, First at 4 continues.
Welcome back. First at 4, we are tracking some pop-up storms out there this afternoon. As you can see, First Alert meteorologist Emily Acton is standing by to tell us who might be getting wet this afternoon.
Yeah, Richard, it's going to be a hit or miss for most of us here in the CSRA, but we can see those showers and thunderstorms already starting to build up just to the west of us. And again, that could be moving in over the next hour or so. There's definitely the ingredients to see some showers this afternoon, really into the overnight hours. That's when we can expect some more widespread heavy rainfall, and some of those storms could be on the stronger side. That's why the SPC outlook has us under that marginal risk. So could see a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings again possible later on in the evening and really the overnight hours. Right now, most of us are sitting in those lower 90s. Feels like, though, middle 90s, and that dew point just a little bit below 70, but it still feels pretty humid out there to me, at least. And like I said, across the CSRA, we are sitting in those middle 90s. Some spots are reading those triple digits, but I think that that might be a little bit of an overkill there. But this is the current feels like temperature outside. Of course, we're going to cool off overnight tonight, but we have another warm day in store for us tomorrow.
Emily, thanks. New documents show the Augusta firefighter who hid and dragged a body more than 50 feet no longer works for that department. This happened back in May after a mass shooting near downtown Augusta between rival biker gangs where 2 people died, 4 were injured, 10 more were arrested. Documents say Gregory Hartshorn hid and dragged the body of one of those shooting victims, and that Hartshorn was fired for not checking his vehicle all the way around before driving away from the scene. They also show when he was given termination letters, he asked to resign instead. Since then, Hartshorn says he was terminated unfairly and has rescinded his resignation. We're working to find out the next step in this legal process. Health news now. The CDC recommending everyone ages 6 months and older get an updated COVID vaccine. The shots could be available as soon as this week. Jared Hill has more for us.
CDC Director Mandy Cohen addressed the agency's advisory panel before it weighed new data on the updated COVID-19 vaccines, which target the Omicron variant XBB.1.5.
We're in our strongest position yet to fight COVID-19, as well as flu and RSV this winter season.
On Monday, the FDA approved the updated mRNA vaccines from Pfizer and Moderna. Novavax's protein-based vaccine is currently being reviewed.
There is an urgent need for alternatives to mRNA-based vaccines, including protein-based vaccines. And so in that regard, we will review such a submission expeditiously.
While cases and hospitalizations are up, concern about the virus is down. In a new CBS News poll, just 45% of people say they are worried that they or a family member could get COVID. That's down from 77% in April of 2020. Only 43% plan to get the new booster, and those numbers vary by political affiliation. Many health experts are pushing to have the COVID vaccine considered just like every other shot and recommended every fall like the flu vaccine. Dr. William Schaffner with Vanderbilt University Medical Center says you can get the flu and COVID vaccines in one visit.
If that opportunity presents itself and you're up for it, sure, get them together. But if you get them one at a time, please make sure you come back for each of those vaccines.
Because it's the best protection for what could be a very active winter. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
The updated COVID shots will be free for most people through private insurance, but the shots will be available also for people without insurance through the Bridge Access program for COVID vaccines launching this fall. A Wadley police officer on administrative leave this afternoon after something caught on camera outside an Augusta gym. The Wadley Police Department says there was an internal investigation going on into Anderson Delaford. It all centers around what happened outside the Max Fitness on Bobby Jones Expressway. The video here is grainy, but it shows a patrol car hitting a parked car, then turning on the blue lights and driving away from the scene. A trial underway involving Google and a lawsuit that could change the way big tech companies do business. The Justice Department and more than a dozen states accusing the company of illegally paying billions of dollars to Apple, Samsung, LG, and beyond to make Google the default search engine on your phone and your computer, and shutting out rivals like Microsoft, Bing, and DuckDuckGo. Google argues its search engine is the default because of its high quality and popularity with users. The trial is expected to last several weeks. If Google loses, it could pay a fine or potentially be broken up. If any of this sounds familiar, the last big antitrust trial was Microsoft back in 1998, the same year a startup company called Google was founded. Well, it's the long-awaited announcement from Apple today. The new iPhone 15 lineup features enhancements in its chips, its battery, its cameras. It's also going to use USB-C charging cables that are already being used now by iPads and Macs, already the standard in Europe. Another new feature, roadside assistance through its satellite emergency beacon. That's an app for those who are off the grid but need help. The iPhone 15 starts at $799, while the iPhone 15 Plus base price is $899.
iPhone 15 and iPhone 15 Plus are truly incredible, with new capabilities that will make a real difference in our users' lives. Their unique combination of powerful technology, ease of use, and thoughtful design make them indispensable.
The company says the new Apple Watch Series 9 is its first 100% carbon neutral product and will no longer be offered with a leather band. One new feature allows users to simply tap the thumb and finger twice to interact with the device. The new watches start at $399. They're available on September 22nd, while the latest iPhone can be pre-ordered now or purchased in stores also on the 22nd. Big news from Apple today. Well, you hope you never need it, but if you do, you're going to want donated blood to be there for you. But nationwide, the supply is at critically low levels. We take a look at a local way you can step in and help right now.
Well, afternoon high temperatures have reached those lower 90s. Going to cool off overnight tonight. Few showers and thunderstorms possible before we do it all again tomorrow. I'll have another look at your forecast after the break.
Hash browns are the
Mix and match 2 for $2.49. Choose from a sausage muffin, sausage biscuit, or hash browns. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Well, we have some isolated showers across or outside of the CSRA. Moving into the CSRA this evening, could see a couple of stronger storms as we head into the overnight hours, and we'll do it again tomorrow. Rinse and repeat, but a cool down after that. And I'm talking maybe a 3 to 5 temperature difference, but hey, I think that most of us will take it. Sunny conditions will continue for our weekend, so things are looking good for the future. Now, over the next 12 hours or so, we're going to slowly but surely drop off temperature-wise. And again, going to see those chance of showers and thunderstorms multiple times throughout the night tonight. I think that those louder thunderstorms, heavier thunderstorms, are going to come around 10 or 11 p.m. tonight. That's what we're currently tracking. But let's take a look at the hour-by-hour forecast. Overnight, we're going to drop off into those upper 60s, lower 70s in some spots. And then as we go throughout the day tomorrow, once we get into the afternoon, could see a couple of isolated showers there. And then as we go into the evening, they'll start to drop off a little bit, those chances of showers, and then maybe a few sticking around for the early morning hours Thursday. There we go. I know it started with the T. But if we're looking at the next 3 days, again, tomorrow is going to be that more measurable rainfall. And that could come, this could be populating some of what we see overnight tonight, not just tomorrow afternoon. But once we get into Thursday and Friday, things are looking a lot better for us. Drier conditions, a little bit of cooler air too. Speaking of cool, look at Hurricane Lee. There we go. This is still a Category 3 hurricane, but good news is expected to continue its track northward. Expected to weaken a little bit, could impact parts of extreme north of the U.S., but thankfully it's supposed to really start to weaken before that happens. But Richard, only impacts to us here on the East Coast would be just some stronger rip currents.
Yeah, good to see you staying offshore there. Emily, thank you. We have a warning from the American Red Cross today, the organization that provides about 40% of the nation's blood supply and blood components to patients in need. They say their supply is at critically low levels. Mandy Gaither has more on what led to that shortage and how we can all help.
For months, back-to-back climate-driven disasters have further strained the U.S. blood supply, forcing the American Red Cross to sound the alarm, saying their supplies are critically low.
It has become challenging for us to meet the demand of our hospitals.
With a busy summer travel season and back-to-school activities, the organization was already seeing low donor turnout. That, paired with blood drive cancellations because of extreme weather, has led to the national blood supply dropping by nearly 25% since early August, despite a constant demand.
Blood cannot be manufactured, it can't be stockpiled, and really it's the blood on the shelves on a daily basis that is needed to save lives.
From emergencies to cancer patients and women in delivery, blood is used to help patients every day. The Red Cross says all blood types are urgently needed, but there's an emergency need for platelet donors and type O blood donors.
About 40% of this country's population is eligible to donate, and only about 4% do.
When Hurricane Idalia slammed into the southeast, the Red Cross says it was unable to collect more than 700 units of blood and platelets, and the storm season isn't over. Hurricane Lee is now being closely monitored.
The need is constant, and it's the patients that are at the other end of this life-saving product.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
It boils down to you just making time, and there is a blood drive taking place this week, setting up a battle, if you will, between Georgia and South Carolina football fans. Each donor gets a chance to put up a point toward their team. Some blood drive locations open today include Barnwell Christian School, Shepherd, Augusta, Evans, Grovetown, Aiken, and Dublin. For a full list of where those drives are happening, hit our website, wrdw.com. The TSA says this summer was the busiest ever for air travel, but those folks responsible for loading your bags and servicing the planes, they're getting hurt more often, some even losing their lives. Earlier this month, the FAA issued a safety alert for aviation workers. Ernest Tango works at the Washington Dulles as a ramp agent there at that airport. He was taking a bag by hand for a flight when he slipped. His leg got stuck between the body of the plane and the baggage loader.
When I pulled my leg out, I sat on a box for about 45 minutes, and it was just my leg, the whole leg was burning.
The number of on-the-job injuries declined in 2020 when travel during the pandemic cratered, but OSHA figures show as flights picked back up, injuries quickly returned to exceeding pre-pandemic levels. Some things you have in your wallet could put you at risk. We're going to break down ways to keep your information safe when First at 4 continues.
looking at the next 7 days, we're slowly but surely getting a small taste of fall, but we have to get through these warmer afternoons. Like I said, this afternoon we saw temperatures in those lower 90s, and that's what we're still currently seeing right now. But as we look into the day tomorrow, a little bit cooler temperatures, but with that, we're going to see some showers and possibly some thunderstorms too. That's really going to start to rev up in the afternoon hours. And really for our evening, that's when we could see a better chance of that widespread rainfall there. And even as we go into the overnight hours, could see another chance of a shower or two. And that's kind of staying true for tonight as well. So a couple of opportunities to get some rainfall before we have a dry stretch. So that's good. Once we get into Thursday, partly cloudy sky conditions, but Friday and Saturday, going to be mostly sunny skies, and I know we have lots of activities going on even on Saturday. Saturday's really my pick of the week, but as we look at Arts in the Heart, again, that's going to be going on all weekend, but here's just your forecast for most of the day. Saturday will warm up into those lower and middle 80s. Same can be said for Sunday. Might see an afternoon shower, though, Sunday later on in the day. Once we get into Monday and Tuesday, partly cloudy sky conditions, and we'll slowly but surely warm back up again into those upper 80s. Overnight lows will continue with that trend being in those middle 60s. But like I said, my pick of the 7-day is definitely got to be Saturday, starting off in those upper 50s for the overnight lows, warming up into those middle 80s. It really is a decent week, I would say, for us, Richard. I mean, we're getting a little bit of rain start off the week, but we're getting that out of the way.
Yeah.
So once we get into the end of the week and the weekend, weather's looking pretty good.
Absolutely. No complaints there. Emily, thanks. Nearly 150,000 auto workers could go on strike this Friday. The United Auto Workers and the three automakers, Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis, getting close to crunch time to reach that contract agreement about pay and benefits. Union workers say they're struggling to make ends meet right now. They're demanding change.
If the pay rate and, everything stays the same, there's no path. I'm not heading. I'm just gonna fall further and further back.
Union leadership and the companies are still talking through all this to figure out a plan. They say they're working on giving union workers at least a 40% pay raise, cost of living adjustments, and more concessions. North Korea's Kim Jong-un has arrived in Russia to meet. Arts in the Heart of Augusta Festival returning Friday, featuring more than 130 artists this year, entertainment on the big stages, and food booths, activities for the kids as well. Those advanced tickets are available. They are $12 to $15. There's also some road closures in place starting tonight at 11 o'clock. Those include Albion Avenue, 8th and 9th Streets from Ellis to Broad, and then Broad Street will close down between 7th and 10th Streets. Well, what's in your wallet, what you carry around every day in the purse or the wallet, could make you vulnerable to fraud. Consumer investigator Rachel Papa goes over some of the 5 things you should never lug around.
It only takes a second for a pickpocket to grab your wallet. Purses are taken all of the time out of vehicles and grocery store carts, which is why the AARP is asking you to lighten your wallet to keep thieves from having instant access to your cash. The agency says there are 5 things you should never carry around with you. First and foremost, don't walk around with your Social Security card. And if you are a senior, leave your Medicare card at home when you don't need it. While Medicare cards no longer carry a person's Social Security number, the account information listed on it is still very valuable to thieves. Keep barely used credit cards out of your wallet, because if your wallet is ever stolen, you might not remember which cards were in it and forget to cancel them. If you have a password cheat sheet, don't ever carry it around with you. That's something you never want to lose. And lastly, don't carry blank checks. That's essentially as good as a thief having cash if they get a hold of your wallet. With this Watching Your Wallet, I'm Rachel DePompa.
Some good advice right there. So check out this time-lapse of New York City provided to us by EarthCam. This is from yesterday, September the 11th, and you can see that storm giving way to a rainbow over the New York skyline. Just a beautiful ending to a day always filled with remembering loved ones lost. But what a promise of hope there, a rainbow over the Big Apple.
Oh, I love to see that. But looking at conditions here in the CSRA, a couple of isolated showers. Don't love to see that just outside of our area. Moving in for this evening, going to see a couple more storms overnight tonight, and I'll have one more look at your forecast coming up after the break.
Your safety comes first with the First Alert Radar Network. First just got faster.
Let me tell you what happened. Well, we saw partly cloudy skies throughout most of the day today, warmed up into those lower 90s, still sitting in those lower 90s for some of us across the CSRA. But as we head into the evening, a couple isolated showers starting to move in to our area, and some places outside of the CSRA seeing even some severe thunderstorm warnings. I know a couple have populated over the state of South Carolina. We could see a severe thunderstorm warning or two possible later on in the overnight hours tonight. We're under that marginal risk, so risk 1 out of 5, again, for maybe a strong storm or two later on this evening. But let's take a look at the next couple of hours. Around 5 p.m., so in about 6 minutes, we're going to see roughly a small chance of showers there. Temperatures will slowly but surely start to drop off as we get closer to sunset, which is right at 7:39. Again, rain chances will kind of drop as we get around that sunset time, but pick back up for the overnight hours around 9-10 p.m. That's when we could see those heavier showers and thunderstorms, and the same can be said for even 11 p.m. tonight. But after that, it looks like we might just see a light shower or two for the overnight hours, so not any more thunderstorms, thankfully, for us until we get into tomorrow afternoon. So the first half of the day tomorrow, not looking bad at all. We'll warm up into those upper 80s, so still another pretty warm day. Again, those showers might start to populate later on in the afternoon and evening hours, but overall, pretty okay day. I always try to think on the positive side, but here's some positive news. Once we get into Thursday and Friday, looking great. I know we have lots of football games going on, tailgates, Saturday's looking beautiful. Sunday might run into an isolated shower or two later on in the afternoon, but Monday and Tuesday looking great, partly cloudy sky conditions. We will warm back up just a little bit into those upper 80s. Overnight lows, Richard, anywhere from those upper 50s to middle 60s once we get through tonight.
Sounds good. A lot going on this weekend. As you might have heard, we've been collecting pack and plays here at News 12 and the Family Y, but we need dozens more to fill the need and help save babies long term. And that's where the Augusta Duck Dash comes in. It's going to help provide cribs for children without them. October 21st, all these rubber ducks are going to be launched into Savannah Rapids Park. You can adopt one for $10 and watch them race down the Augusta Canal to win prizes. First prize, $1,500 in cash and a 1-year Family Y membership. All the proceeds it's going to go to the Family Y Place to Dream program.
Enables us to kind of take these beds we've been given to children and then now extend these cribs to babies that need that.
So find out more on our website or augusta.dash.com. Should be a lot of fun. So how does this sound? No-cost meals to students in every South Carolina public school. That's the conversation happening today in Columbia. We look at the impact this could have next on News 12 Live at 5, right after this break.